Tonight, Alan Keating continues to brawl.
22. Another bluff? I'm embarrassed how good my hand was.
But can the wild man of poker finally get Jennifer Tilly on the ropes?
Do you have a flush?
That's the $82,000 flush.
When he first showed up on live poker streams, nobody really took this man seriously until he beat the poker pros for millions. He was laughing, cracking jokes, and tossing chips around like the money didn't matter. But behind that laid-back attitude was a guy who saw the game in a completely different way. A player who didn't fear losing because he knew he could win it all back with one hand. And he did, over and over again. But the real story of how he pulled it off, how he beat them for millions, isn't just surprising, it's downright unsettling. Now, if you've ever tuned in to a high-stakes poker stream and found yourself asking, wait, who exactly is Alan Keating? You're not alone, but if you do a little digging, you'll find some clues. Alan Keating was born on March 9th, 1986, in Washington, D.C. He studied psychology at the University of Maryland and even pursued further studies in physician assistant work. But deep down, poker had its hooks in him. He first emerged on the online poker scene in the early 2000s, grinding away in the shadows long before anyone saw his face on TV. Keating might not have been the most feared shark in the room, but he was always in the mix, taking big swings, chasing even bigger pots, and almost never saying no to a challenge. His live poker journey began in 2007 at the World Series of Poker. Not exactly a small stage for a debut. Out of more than 2,600 players in a $1,500 no-limit Hold'em event, he finished 224th. Not bad for a first shot. And just a week later, he was already back in the money, cashing another event for over $58,000. From that point on, Keating's name started appearing everywhere, from the Heartland Poker Tour to the Bellagio Summer Dailies, consistently putting up solid results and quietly building a reputation as a serious player. By 2015, he capped off his major tournament run with a strong finish at the WPT5 Diamond World Poker Classic in Las Vegas, walking away with over $21,000. But that was only the beginning of his real story. As his bankroll grew, so did his appetite for risk. Keating started stepping into ultra-high stakes games, the kind where one pot could buy a mansion. And then came the moment that made him a household name among poker fans.
Alan Keating's here.
His televised debut on Hustler Casino, live in April 2022. At first, most viewers assumed he was just another rich guy looking to splash some cash, but within minutes, it was clear Alan Keating was something else entirely. His playstyle was wild, unpredictable, and refreshingly fearless. He was in nearly every pot, posting an insane 83% VIPP, meaning he played 83% of all hands dealt. Even though he lost $138,200 that night, people couldn't take their eyes off him. Keating's calm, almost zen-like vibe at the table made him an instant fan favorite. No tilt, no stress, just pure entertainment. He brought an energy to poker that was wild, unpredictable, and genuinely fun to watch. And just when everyone thought they'd seen it all, Keating went and pulled off something that completely shook the poker world. It's December 2022, and all eyes are glued to Alan Keating at the poker table. Nobody knows it yet, but he's about to make poker history. His opponent, a player known as Handz, already had around $560,000 in chips before the cards even hit the felt. By the time the flop came down, 5 of diamonds, 10 of spades, 6 of spades, the pot had already swelled to $37,200. Keating's holding the king and 2 of spades, giving him 4 to a flush. Handz, with the ace of spades and 7 of hearts, is slightly ahead, but standing on dangerous ground. Then comes the turn. 4 of diamonds. It's a great card for Handz, who now has an open-ended straight draw and is statistically favored to win. But poker isn't a math problem, it's a storm. And that river? The 7 of spades. Boom. Keating nails the king-high flush and flips the table on its head. Handz had already pushed $70,000 into the pot on the turn, and Keating wasn't backing down. He called. The pot now sat at a massive $227,000. Then came the river, Keating led out with a bold $155,000 bet. Handz didn't flinch. Instead, he went all in.
I'm all in.
And he's all in! Handz is gonna pull a bluff raise all in.
For an unbelievable $464,000. The table fell silent. Every eye was locked on Keating as he studied his opponent. After a long, tense pause, he made the call.
And he calls! He makes the call! $1.2 million in real money.
And when the cards were revealed, the room exploded. Keating had done it, pulling in a staggering $1.15 million pot. It wasn't just a win, it was history. The largest live-streamed pot ever in U.S. poker, cementing Keating's reputation as one of the most daring players the game has ever seen. Social media went wild. Poker fans and pros flooded Twitter, calling Keating a legend. Andy Stacks joked that players would think twice before bluffing a naked ace again, while Keating himself dropped his now famous bug and windshield analogy, reminding everyone that in poker, you're either one or the other. But Keating wasn't done making history. Fast forward to May 2024, another night, another storm brewing at the Hustler Casino live $1 million game. The pot, an eye-watering $2.437 million against high-stakes regular Rahul, the second largest in HCL history. Rahul started with 8-7 of spades and raised to $15,000. The table filled with calls, including Keating, who looked down at 10-9 of spades. The flop came 4 of spades, jack of spades, and 8 of hearts, giving both players something to work with. Rahul led for $40,000. Keating called, and the turn brought the ace of diamonds. Then came that magical river, the 7 of hearts. Keating had just rivered the nuts. He checked.
Keating checks. Rahul has to believe he has the best hand here. And Keating rivers the nut.
Rahul fired $200,000.
$200,000. And here we go.
Then Keating dropped the hammer, an all-in raise to a cool $1 million.
Facing an all-in rip. Huge check raise from Keating.
The whole table went silent. You could feel the tension in the air as Rahul tanked for over 6 minutes, trying to decide if he was about to make the call of his life or the biggest mistake of it. Finally, he called, only to see Keating flip over a monster hand.
All right, man.
He calls $2.4 million.
The pot ballooned to more than $2.4 million, cementing Keating's place in poker history.
Alan Keating is back. Leaves Rahul with crumbs.
You'd think that would be the grand finale, but Keating wasn't done just yet. In January 2025, poker fans got a massive treat when Poker Go dropped Season 14 of High Stakes Poker. And this time, the lineup was pure gold. Phil Hellmuth, Jared Blesnick, Andrew Roble, and of course, the king of chaos himself, Alan Keating. The stakes? Brutal. The blinds started at $200 per $400 and went all the way up to $500 per $1,000, with straddles flying around like confetti at a Vegas after-party. Early episodes were fun, but by episode 10, things were about to explode. Sitting at the table were Alan Keating, Rick Salomon, Peter Wang, and Nick Airball Arcott, 4 men who live for adrenaline and million-dollar pots. By this point, the tension had been building for weeks. Then, in the blink of an eye, it all came crashing together in one historic hand, the biggest in high-stakes poker history. The setup was perfect. $500 to $1,000 blinds, Rick Salomon double straddling to $4,000, and Keating on the button with pocket kings. Absolute monsters. Instead of blasting away, Keating just flat called, playing it cool. Then came Peter Wang in the big blind with ace-3 of spades. He bumped it up to $14,000. Keating came back over the top for $69,000, and Wang made the call. Just like that, $145,500 was already in the pot before a single card hit the felt. The flop came down. Jack of spades, king of hearts, 2 of spades. Bang. Keating hit top set, but Wang wasn't out of it. He had the nut flush draw. and an overcard, the kind of setup that could make or break a millionaire. Wang checked, Keating bet $70,000, and then Wang fired back with a massive check raise to $200,000. The crowd could feel it. This hand was going nuclear. Keating didn't even flinch. He just called, like a man holding the world's best secret. Now the pot sat at a staggering $545,000. The turn rolled off. The ace of diamonds gave Wang top pair and the flush draw. Without hesitation, he shoved all in for $434,000. Keating, cool as ever, snap called. Boom. A $1.4 million pot was officially in play, the largest ever on high-stakes poker since the show began in 2006. Keating wanted to run it twice, and Wang agreed. When the cards flipped, Wang realized he was drawing thin. His ace stood no chance against Keating's top set. The first river came the ace of spades, giving Wang trips, but improving Keating to a full house. The second river sealed the deal, a jack of clubs, locking in Keating's kings full of jacks. Wang took it like a pro, laughing it off, while Keating silently stacked chips worth $1.4 million.
I kill you later after
funny.
the show, you laughing guy.
Keep laughing.
Coming good.
You're 1.4.
1.4. It's got to be the biggest hand.
The entire hand, start to finish, unfolded in under 3 minutes. Even commentator AJ Benza couldn't believe it. That happened fast, and that's Alan Keating in a nutshell. Wild, unpredictable, fearless, and devastating when he connects. He plays almost every hand, keeps opponents guessing, and somehow always finds a way to make chaos profitable. He's not just another high-stakes grinder anymore, he's a full-blown poker showman. With that hand, Keating didn't just win chips, he cemented himself as one of the most entertaining, talked-about players in modern poker.